All right. So first things first, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. Yeah, I had my breakfast and now I have my coffee here with me, so everything's fine.
Very
Yeah,
good.
same here.
Uh,
Coffee,
that's
nice and hot.
that's nice to
And
see.
yeah, we have a release date today, so
Yes,
very excited how the day will go.
indeed.
Is it like a weight off your shoulders to be able to kind of finally release the album?
I don't know. It's we've been anticipating this day for so long, and it's just so excited to like what will happen next. What doors will this album open for us?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the main
What
feeling.
what will happen? It's a great riddle at the moment, but I said yesterday to a friend that it's so weird. You work towards this day for such a long time and you give everything into it. And it's a bit like Christmas nowadays as an adult. You wait so patiently, and you're waiting for the magic to set in really, and then the day is there, and everything's like, well, I don't feel different, kind of.
Mhm.
I'm nervously looking at positive feedback and the negative feedback, whatever there may be, but suddenly the day is there, and you're the same person. Yeah, that's kind of a weird thing, but otherwise, I'm just happy this album is finally done. Oh my God. And people can have this album to their own now and enjoy it. And yeah, I can't wait to hear what people think of it.
Were the feelings very different from releasing the first album, the debut album? Is it now a completely different ballgame in a way?
Well, first of all, I think releasing a debut album is always the first step into doing this thing professionally.
Sure.
And you have like kind of no idea what you're stepping into and what or what may come your way. And so this was a completely new thing for most of us. And releasing Until Dawn felt good because we knew that for a young band, the young band we were, um, everything was fine. And we had no contact with press or people who show interest over the normal, yeah, listen to it and cool stuff.
Sure.
Um, we were kind of naive, I think. And now with the second album, it's obviously different because we switched the label
Sure.
to Napalm Records, which was, in my opinion, the best decision we could ever make. And I'm extremely happy right now because everything that changed in comparison to Until Dawn is just positive and
Mhm.
so uplifting, and I'm really grateful for that.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. Now, before we get into the new album and kind of explore that a little bit, I do want to go back to the origins of the band very quickly. Now, Jan, I believe. Now, if I say anything that isn't correct, just correct me because I read this from the internet. You never know what's
Sure.
true.
Yeah.
But Jan, you were already kind of in a band, and then by chance you met Nele at a birthday party. Am I saying that right?
And no, that was Martin, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I just joined the band in 2019, so
Oh,
for the
okay.
early
Sorry.
day questions, it will all be Nele.
Well,
Oh
then,
yeah.
then we'll just do the background very quickly because I read that there was kind of like you sang at a birthday party and that led to you being in the band. What were your ambitions at that time, Nele? Did you want to be in a band? What were you looking for?
Oh, well, I have to say, that was a friend's birthday, obviously. I'm sorry. My phone's ringing. So, um, I was at a birthday party of my friend, and at that time, I really didn't have anything in mind than going through my puberty and making it out alive. And you know, I had my school stuff to do and everything else. I liked music. I liked liked metal, and I sang before I could even speak. So this path was kind of set, but I never had anything specific in mind. And on this birthday party, our drummer Marin showed up, and I had a bit of alcohol, I have to admit that. And so I was in the garden with my friend, and he came up to me and said, like, well, listen, I got a band, and we're looking for a singer currently. And I was like, yeah, sure, but don't ask me. I have like social anxiety. I don't want to do this. And he didn't step away from that. And so yeah, I kind of dived into it with him, and I sang my model, and from there on, everything went pretty quickly, and we met at the rehearsal room. And a few weeks after that, it was kind of a casting atmosphere with Boys First.
Okay.
They were pretty seriously, which impressed me. And yeah, I joined the band, and the rest is history.
And for you then, Jan, because you joined a couple years later, then what was your impression of the band at that point, and what did you think you could kind of add to kind of the chemistry and to the sound of what they were doing?
The first impression was actually through to the website, because I heard from somebody I know that, like, hey, there is this guy who will approach you probably. They're searching a bass player for their band. And then I looked up the band, and I thought, okay, symphonic metal. I haven't listened to any symphonic metal for a few years, so let's look into the details. And then I found, like, oh, these guys are playing some pretty nice shows. Like, they go to Barcelona and Czech Republic, and the Rock Hearts Festival has been my go-to festival for 10 years or so. I've been there as a visitor, and always dreamed of, like, one day I want to stand up on that stage. Will never happen. And suddenly there was this chance, like, of checking that box on the bucket list. And so I just waited a short while. Then I contacted Gilbert, since he did not write, and practiced a few of the songs, and then went into the rehearsal room. And I had the exact opposite experience than Nele, because I don't know, something was bad about the timing. So I went there for the first rehearsal, and nobody really had time. We just quickly rushed through the few songs that I had practiced, and then I don't know, half of the band had to leave. So that felt a bit weird, but it got really serious the next time. And I quickly noticed, okay, this is not one of those garage band things that I've had before. This is different.
Yeah, that's very cool that you both say that you immediately had the feeling that, hey, this is quite professional. They're serious, these guys, and they want to make the music as best as they can. So starting to work together then, and especially for the second album, where you kind of know what was expected. You have a new label. You know that people will listen once you release the album. So what was it like starting that whole kind of journey of the second album? Where did you begin? Did you plan out a lot? Did you go on gut feeling a lot? How did you kind of get the whole ball rolling?
I think it's hard to put the finger on an exact timing. And we started, obviously, after all the festivals and the tour with Visions of Atlantis in 2019. And we pretty quickly felt the setback from COVID. So we are a band, we write songs together in the rehearsal room, and everybody puts their stuff to the table, brings their stuff to the table. And this is why the result is the way it is. And it's very important for us. And with all the restrictions and lockdowns and what have you, we weren't able to work the way we wanted to. We really gave everything, but it was hard. And additional to that, being on lockdown means you don't experience things, you don't experience life. Where does inspiration come from? And so we obviously also had a hard time during, I would say, 2020. That was the hardest time to keep it rolling. And after, pushing through, we felt that this is going to be exactly like with Until Dawn. It feels so magical, and we have the right feeling for it. And we started writing songs, but also turned them over completely and started new for some songs. That's true. And we consulted Napalm Records because we felt we just need some more time, and we don't want to rush it because we want to adapt on the success of Until Dawn. And they actually agreed and said, yeah, just take your time. And even if it takes these 6 years, it took, we just needed that time. We just needed that time for developing musically and personally as well. And we managed, I'm very proud of that, we managed to bring us together more tightly, and we managed to hold up and even improve our songwriting process. And so yeah, as I said, it was for me kind of a roller coaster ride, really, these last 6 years, but they also went by like the blink of an eye.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Especially those COVID years, they feel like
Yeah.
it was only a couple of months. It's kind of condensed
Mhm.
into this bubble.
Absolutely. Yeah,
But that's
100%.
interesting then, because as you mentioned, you do have the time to, well, we all have the time to think a lot and to kind of figure stuff out for ourselves. So, and I assume then also growing as musicians, as you say. So once restrictions were lifted and you could kind of wholeheartedly start working on the album, were there certain things that popped up? Because even just looking at some of the themes on the album, there's themes of I wrote down kind of like keywords, so I don't know if it's accurate, but it's just my interpretation. But things like resilience, going beyond the things like hope and pushing through. So it all feels like it's kind of fits well within that period as well. Is that fair to say?
But in retrospect, yes, absolutely. While writing, especially the lyrics and thinking of the artwork, and yeah, all in all, what does this next album by us mean? What do we want to present as the first step out of the shadows with Napalm Records? And that was a very tough one because we knew from, yeah, very early on, I would say it already was in 2019, that we knew we don't want to have a concept album again,
Okay.
because Until Dawn was very detailed and everything's connected and stuff. Yeah, and we we gave our best, really. Can you please repeat your question? I'm so sorry.
Oh no, it's basically kind of some of the themes that ended up on the album, maybe subconsciously,
Oh
kind of
yeah.
you experienced those things in the years previous.
Yeah, well, COVID was a big thing for me because I noticed lyric-wise that people get so out of touch with themselves and with their surroundings, and I really felt that personally as well, and also the aftermath of that, because it really has consequences. And I felt, but I can only say that in retrospect because during writing process, I don't know what I aim for.
Okay.
It's just like channeling, really, and yeah.
Is that the same? Is the same true then for the music as well? Because as you mentioned, you like to be in the same room to create music, and I believe a lot of songs start with either a riff or something like a melody line by you, Jan. So how do you find the right textures, the right sounds, the right kind of bed to place these songs in?
I think most songs basically start with ideas that Pascal brings in, the keyboard player. And then it somehow develops from there. Like, I don't know, sometimes he comes with 2 minutes of ideas, and then the band picks out 10 seconds of that and develops that into a song. So it's always going for these, like when you hear something special in everything, then you dig deeper and see what is hidden in those few bars that you have.
Yeah. We really try to uncover the songs and try to let it develop and write itself, really. That's pretty important for us. We don't aim for, let's write a single, let's write a ballad, let's write whatever, the most metal thing we've ever done. That's nothing. We also don't sit down and say like, come on, let's sound like this band or that band. We don't do that. We all come from different genres, and we kind of blend together everything in symphonic metal. And as I said, we try to uncover the song, and this is basically when the Elvellon magic also sets in. Yeah.
And sound-wise, I've wondered often, like, how do I think it's mainly Pascal and Gilbert, but I think also Martin has his say in that. Like, what keyboard sounds do you pick? I don't know how they make that choice. Actually, I was not involved in much of that, as I joined as a live member, and only recently I became a full member of the band. So I've been wondering, like, how do they make these choices for which sound does fit where, and why does it always fit so perfectly? I think they're making good choices there, and yeah.
No,
that's also.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt you.
No. Go ahead.
Okay, no, I just wanted to say that this is kind of a mystery to me too, because I'm just not capable of remembering what sound has what name and whatever. But I assume really that this, what I talked about earlier, the Elvellon magic, you suddenly all of a sudden got a feeling like this is the perfect sound or this is the perfect word, whatever, and you just try things out really, and after that you sort out as well, and if it doesn't feel right you just start over writing. Yeah.
And obviously with the orchestral kind of instrumentation as well, the strings, the flute, those kind of things, it makes it sound really epic, which I always like about this type of music. Let's delve into one specific song. It's probably my favorite on the album, Last of Our Kind. What was the beginning of that song?
That's a tough one because I myself didn't experience the beginning of it.
Okay.
And I didn't write the lyrics for that. That was our drummer Martin.
Okay.
But it's kind of looking up into the sky and seeing all the stars, and just it's very atmospheric, and it really carries you through something. We had that yesterday. Someone else said that's their favorite song, and it really carries you away, and it's very sentimental. It's not sad, but it's sentimental, and that's one perfect example of the Elvellon feeling. That's what I mean. It just happens, and it gets uncovered, and it's not. I don't think it's a typical metal song. Also, not a typical metal ballad. It's just it's mostly sounds and not guitar, drum, bass, whatever. And I remember vividly the moment in the rehearsal room, jamming this song together with the boys and just singing randomly. And in the end, that was the first melody we came up with, or I came up with, and it made it to the song. That is pretty cool. That's something pretty cool happening all the time, actually.
Yeah, that's it's such a dynamic song with all the different elements and the textures and sounds, as you mentioned.
No, I have an interview question to add, if I may.
Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead. Go ahead.
sure. Go ahead, please.
As I've not been around, is that usually the way how you create the vocal melodies? Is that you have already a lot of the backing the music, and then you just feel your way into it while jamming with the rest of the band?
Yes, absolutely. I love that. And what I
Good
also love
question.
is it's just thank you, Jan. It's oftentimes I enjoy the jamming thing, but what I love even more is just retrieving back to my car, just sitting in my car, having the music on and getting completely lost in the instrumental. Yeah. So the instrumental has developed very much already until I can step in and really be like getting a vision of what I want to write about or what I feel about this song. And yeah, so I need the instrumental, and I could do this from scratch, but I know the boys are doing a better job on that. So, yeah.
Which kind of demo or instrumental that you received gave you kind of an immediate visceral reaction then? Kind of where you could almost immediately, well, okay, this word fits, and I know how to kind of.
I have to think of that, but I would have to mention Into the Vortex because, and up until today, it's the only song I really have like pictures, and there's kind of a movie running in my head, and I can see what that song means to me. And I had that from the very beginning. The guys, Pascal and Gilbert, showed me what they had so far. And I was sitting in the rehearsal room and I was like, guys, you just wrote a movie score. This is so atmospheric. This is so intense. I can't even describe it. And then I retrieved and came up with a vocal melody that really caught me. And I hope I can forever remember that feeling, finding these vocal lines. And it took us like 2 or 3 weeks to write this song. Compared to the others, this is like no time at all. And it went extremely quick. We had no difficulties because although it sounds easy to uncover a song, it is not. And as I said, we did this in no time at all, and it just felt amazing.
And I wrote a line down from that song. Forever, I'm torn between the dark and the light. This kind of eternal battle that we all kind of have to face. Why did that become kind of the subject matter? Can that be influenced by the music as you hear it, or was that something just in the back of your mind when you were working on it?
It's the feeling, really. As I said, I have this movie kind of running in front of my eyes all the time, and it's just about this feeling of waking up, and you are just so overwhelmed by everything, and you don't know where to go, and it's like you start walking out of the dark forest, and all of a sudden you stand on this huge cliff, and in the end, it ends very calmly but atmospherically. And I always felt like I walked towards this cliff and nobody will ever know, did I jump or did I not? And it actually brings tears to my eyes because it's so vivid. Yeah, it's a feeling.
Well, it's beautifully illustrated in that song, I think. I really like that one as well. Jan, was there a song that had an immediate reaction on you? Either it can be thematically, it can be musically, or something that you immediately thought, well, this is gonna work, or I know how to navigate this song?
Because I think I don't know. I think there was a moment like when we had everything recorded, and like when it started to sound okay, this is not demos anymore. This is now it's becoming real. That's where everything had like a whole different energy, and that's when I really that's when I really was convinced. Okay, we have something really, really great here, and I'm more like I'm more musically focused than lyrics.
Sure.
I need a bit of, I don't know, I need to put in more effort to get familiar with the lyrics, and I don't know, I don't have this immediate interpretation of like what could be in there. I'm just more like feeling the energy of the whole thing, and
Love you still.
sorry.
This seems to be very common in many bands that some people focus more on the music, some people
Yeah,
focus
sure.
more on the lyrics.
It's just a joke.
No, I get it.
Yeah, and so I'm diverging a bit from your question, but the songs that I feel the most at the moment are those where I just can rock out, where it's just this anticipation of playing them live. At the moment, that is, for example, Ocean of Treason or Unbound, and like, yeah, where we have these riffs that are just fun to play. So that's probably a very different perspective from an audience, from somebody listening. Just that's just my perspective on the album is that of the person who's going to present them to the outside world, and I'm so looking forward to that.
Sure, and that brings me to kind of playing live, because now the album is well, it's gonna come out. Then we've started. It's kind of the beginning of the festival summer right now. So what are your hopes for this summer? And hopefully, once the album has been released and people can listen to it for a little bit, what do you hope the album can which type of doors it can open up for the future for you guys?
We have to
I do not want to interrupt. I'm sorry, but we have another interview.
Oh, sorry.
And no
Last question,
problem.
then.
I'm just saying that. So
No, perfect. Then this is the last question. Go ahead.
yeah, sure.
Shall I? Yeah. We don't have much scheduled yet for this year because we simply didn't have the headspace for putting a lot of effort into the booking, because we had to prepare the album and the videos and everything. But we definitely hope that this will open all kinds of doors and that we can go on tour through Europe next year. Hopefully, that would be great, and also doing some overseas shows if possible. Some of the big festivals in Central Europe, like Germany, France, that would be plainly amazing for next year. So
yeah.
Well, perfect. That sounds good. So best of luck with everything, and enjoy the day today. You deserved it.
Yes, thank you
very
so
much, Robin.
much. We will